Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm really glad you're here today. If you love characters that feel larger than life but still deeply human, then you're in the right place, because today we're talking about Catherine O'Hara, a woman whose talent has quietly shaped comedy, film, and television for decades, and who somehow keeps reinventing herself without ever losing her spark. Catherine O'Hara is one of those rare performers who doesn't just play characters, she becomes them. Born in Toronto, Canada, she began her career in the world of improv, joining the legendary Second City comedy troupe. And if you know anything about improv, you know it's not easy. There's no script to hide behind, no second takes, just timing, instincts, and raw creativity. That environment shaped Catherine into a performer who could think fast, take risks, and find humor in the most unexpected places. Have you ever noticed how the best comedians often come from improv? What do you think that kind of training unlocks in a performer? Her early breakout came with SCTV, where she worked alongside comedy legends and proved she could hold her own. And then some. She created wildly different characters, switching accents, personalities, and energy effortlessly. What's fascinating is that even then, you could see what would define her career. She never played characters as jokes. She played them as real people, even when they were outrageous. As her career moved into film, Catherine became a familiar face in some truly iconic movies. One of the most memorable is Beetlejuice, where she played Delia Dietz, dramatic, pretentious, artistic, and completely unforgettable. That role could have been flat in the wrong hands, but Catherine made Delia feel oddly believable, even lovable in her own strange way. Isn't it amazing how some actors can make even the most exaggerated characters feel grounded? Then there's Home Alone, a movie that lives permanently in pop culture. As Kevin McAllister's mom, Catherine brought warmth, panic, humor, and genuine love to the role. Think about it. In a movie filled with slapstick comedy and chaos, her performance anchored everything emotionally. Without her, would the story have hit the same way? Probably not. It's a reminder that comedy works best when there's real emotion underneath. One of the most impressive chapters of Catherine O'Hara's career came through her long-running collaborations with filmmaker Christopher Guest. Movies like Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, and A Mighty Wind relied heavily on improvisation, and Catherine thrived in that space. She didn't just deliver funny lines, she created entire personalities, complete with insecurities, dreams, and awkward moments that felt painfully real. And that makes you wonder, why do we connect so deeply with characters who are flawed and slightly uncomfortable? Maybe because they feel more like us. And just when some people thought they had her figured out, Catherine O'Hara introduced the world to Moira Rose on Schitt's Creek, a role that completely redefined her legacy for a new generation. Moira was dramatic, theatrical, self-absorbed, vulnerable, ridiculous, and oddly wise, sometimes all at once. The wigs, the accent, the vocabulary, it was a masterclass in character work. But underneath all of that, Moira was a woman learning how to exist without status, wealth, or control. Isn't that part of why the character resonated so deeply? What made Moira special wasn't just how funny she was, it was how human she became over time. Catherine allowed moments of softness and growth to shine through the comedy. And that balance is incredibly hard to pull off. It raises an interesting question. Do the most memorable characters come from actors who aren't afraid to look foolish, vulnerable, or imperfect? What's also worth noting is how Catherine O'Hara's career spans generations. Some people know her from SCTV. Others grew up watching Home Alone every holiday season. And many discovered her for the first time through Schitt's Creek. Very few performers managed to stay relevant without chasing trends. She simply stayed true to her craft. In a world that constantly pushes reinvention for the sake of attention, what does it say about someone who evolves naturally and still captivates audiences? Even outside of comedy, Catherine has shown range in dramatic roles, voice acting, and more subtle performances. She brings intention to every role, no matter how big or small. And maybe that's the secret, treating every character as if they matter, because to the story they do. Catherine O'Hara is still very much a living legend, not just because of awards or accolades, but because her work continues to be watched, quoted, and loved. Her characters live on in memes, rewatches, and conversations that span decades. And that kind of legacy isn't built overnight. It's built through consistency, courage, and a willingness to be fully present in your work. So let me ask you this. When you think of Catherine O'Hara, which role instantly comes to mind? Is it the frantic mother on a holiday mission, the dramatic artist in a haunted house, or the wig-wearing icon who taught us how to fold in the cheese? And why do you think that role stuck with you? If you enjoyed this deep dive and found yourself smiling, reminiscing, or thinking a little differently about her work, go ahead and give this video a like. It really helps the channel grow. Share it with someone who loves film, comedy, or unforgettable characters, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos like this one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Yellow Heart Clapperboard.